We're listening to Zoom the TBT with Charge and Hayner.
Hey guys, this is Zoom the TBT, and we're starting to get into our season 5, and we have the NAWF today. Head coach Willie Witherspoon, point guard Derek St. Hilaire, and GM Shay Agboola. What's up, gentlemen?
What's up? How you doing?
How's it going?
Guess so. It's doing great. Let's start with Shay.
No, man, trying to make it make sense, fellas. Trying to make it make sense.
Yeah, that's Spoon saying trying to make it make sense. There's always a key thing. So Shay, let's start with you. Can you tell us a little bit about how the NAWF came together?
Yeah, so we're just our group of guys. We're all from Gwinnett County. That's basically what we consider the North. So we just consider ourselves the north side of Atlanta. And that's just one county. Me and Derek went to the same high school, different years. Spoon is a graduate of Berkmar. And we just literally, I had to sit down with Spoon. I was like, we can get a group of guys from Gwinnett County to come together and be able to participate and compete for $1 million. Me and Spoon had to sit down. We made sure we tried to keep it as much as Gwinnett as possible. We had 1 or 2 guys from Metro Atlanta, but literally the North is just what we call outside of town, north side of Atlanta.
So Derek, what's that about? Like, because Atlanta's a really big city, but you talk about basketball towns, you're talking about New York, you're talking about Philly, you're talking about my hometown of Memphis, you're talking about LA, and I don't really get Atlanta or even Gwinnett County in the conversation. So Derek, like, what do people nationally need to understand about the North Atlanta area, Gwinnett County? What do they understand about them as a basketball culture?
We actually have a lot of guys that made it to the NBA level out of Gwinnett, like Devin Vassell, Malcolm Brogdon. Who's another one? Josh Okogie, who's my class in high school. Brandon Goodwin. So it's a lot of guys we have coming out of Gwinnett County that are NBA level guys, and those guys competed and compete still against a lot of good guys over here that are probably overseas or high school coming up. So we got a lot of basketball talent, and it's underrated. But when the nation get to see it, they'll know what it is.
And it's interesting because the nation will get to see it now because you guys are a pretty interesting region. You have a lot of good teams. And plus, with the new Fox TV deal, if you guys can win around, you guys will probably be on actual TV, which would be a pretty fun change of pace. Okay, Spoon. So obviously, I'm a huge Memphis fan. I remember watching you when you were there. I remember you almost hitting that great shot against Arizona with that 1 year. You guys almost made it. That would have been a great shot when you hit the turnaround. It felt just missed by this much. I know I'm bringing up bad memories, but you're the head coach now. Your playing days seem to have you're now the smart guy in charge. How do you want this team to play?
Well, we pride ourselves in playing hard on both ends of the ball. So, we're going to play fast paced. The tempo is going to be high. We're going to get out in transition. The one thing that we struggled with last year was getting rebounds. So that's going to be a point of emphasis for us too. We just got to play physical, play fast, and play together, man. I think we'll be fine.
So talking about getting rebounds. So Shay, like when you're recruiting this team, and obviously you're working with the coaching staff and some of your returning players, you mentioned rebounding. So obviously size becomes the thing. How did you address that concern about rebounding in your roster construction when you're making this team?
So if you looked at our roster last year, I think we had maybe one of, if not the smallest team across the board in TBT. We only had 3 guys above 6'6", I believe. And then 2 of them started. We had to start 2 of them because we were going up a very huge Bettercats team. So what we came around to do this year is, one, we wanted to get bigger wings. We started 2 point guards last year, which didn't hurt us. But at the end, like Spoon said, rebounding was a big factor for us that we missed out on. So we went to go look for bigger wings, 1. 2, we went to go look for younger guys who are active, fresh out of college, who are going to bring that energy, especially on that defensive end, to secure defensive rebounds for us. And 3, we just got bigger all around. I believe now, instead of the 3, 6'8" to 6'9" players we had last year, I believe we're right now at 5 to 6.
Yeah, I'm looking right now at the roster as per the website. There's some decent size. You got Cheeseman at 6'8". You've got Ish Collins as a guard at 6'8". You've got Kirkland 6'10". So you have enough size to compete in TBT, which is something you may not have had last year. So Derek, obviously you guys talk about wanting to play fast. Rebounding is a big deal with that. So when you're getting out on the break, like how important is it going to be for you guys to get stops with this team?
Getting stops is going to be important because that's just going to lead to our fast breaks. And defensively, as long as our guards lock up, our bigs to do none. So just getting stops, playing in transition, making highlight plays, making the game fun. That's where we thrive at.
It's pretty interesting too, because TBT often, like, it's very hard to get buckets late due to the fact that you got to win on eliminating. You can't just let the clock save you. You actually have to win as an active thing. And last year, you guys actually were down fairly big to Gutter Cats and started turning around. Shay, can you describe exactly how you guys were able to come back in that game?
I can describe it to a T. I literally tell these guys I watch the film on that game almost every day. So we went. I forgot why or how they went on the run. It might have been, I think QJ hit 2 or 3 very big threes, and literally I told Spoon to call the timeout, and QJ literally came in our huddle and was like, I can't repeat what he said, but it was very
you can. We don't care if you can. You can.
He literally looked at his hands and was like, he's like, I was in China. I just averaged fucking 30. Coach, you're disrespectful as hell. I was like, yo, this kid is bugging out on us. So then Spoon just literally, Spoon's not a big screamer. He's not going to yell. These guys are professionals. Spoon kept it calm. Yo, listen, we're down 19. It's our first year at TBT, first year on ESPN. You want to go home looking very bad. Everybody's going to talk so crazy about y'all when we get home. And from there, I think St. got a tech, and we were still down maybe 15. And then from there, the switch was on. I think we held them to 15 or 17 on run or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty interesting, too, because it was actually a pretty close game. If you look at the box score, I'm trying to find it now, but I know you guys came back really, really, really from a lot. So, Spoon, getting these guys to go to Lexington this year, which is an interesting change of pace from Louisville. I don't think you guys ever played at Rupp when you were at Memphis, correct?
No, we never got to Rupp.
So how interesting will it be for all these guys to see one of the historic sort of meccas of college basketball?
Again, it's just basketball, man. And that's what I tried to get those guys to understand last year. It doesn't matter where we play at or who we play against. It's something that we've been doing our whole lives. And, once those nerves get out of the way, once those guys get to playing their brand of basketball individually, then we'll be just fine, man. I'm excited to get the Rupp, though, man, because, like you said, it's one of the meccas of basketball.
Definitely. One of the meccas of bourbon, too, is my understanding, which is always a nice thing to have. So, hey, Wes, exactly. Spoon, how many O's are in your Twitter handle? Because I follow you and I'm always confused. It's like Spoon. Is it like 8 O's? How many is it?
7 O's. 7 O's. I'm gonna tell you
is there significance to that?
Hell yes. So my freshman year of college, Cal's the coach. And we have, we're on the side of buses, the charter bus, the mega buses going around the city. And that was my first billboard, was my Twitter name. It was Spoon with 7 O's on it. And I said, well, shit, that's got to be my Twitter handle right there. So that's where it came from. It was my first billboard ever.
Well, there you go. It's actually kind of funny you mentioned the Calipari thing, because one of the teams you very well might up at the first round would be La Familia, which is the alumni of UK. And a funny thing is they have a very loaded roster, but it's kind of funny because the La Familia thing is a play on Calipari's sort of nickname for things. And it's funny because he's not there anymore. So I'm going to actually interview the RSL team and ask if he's going to come out for them. So is it kind of interesting, go to play in a place where the entire culture in Kentucky is in transition?
I was just with Cal down in Orlando at the Players Association Top 100 camp. And, we got a chance to chop it up a little bit. But he does a great job, and that group they're gonna play hard for sure. It's just we gotta, if we do match up with that group, then they're gonna have to stand in front of this shit, gang.
Definitely. And Derek, floating back to you for a bit, one of the things I always enjoy about this event is, and this is just a personal thing, is people do not understand how many great basketball players there are. People who are casuals just understand only the NBA. And there's so many great basketball players. There's only 450 NBA jobs. It's a pittance. I mean, I'm an architect. My license number in New York is 33,000 something. So obviously, I'm good at my job, but am I the top 400 architects in the world? I can tell you flat out, I'm not. And I'm good at my job. So the thing is so it's always interesting to see that people go overseas. So you played in Saudi Arabia this last year. We were talking about that off camera. Can you tell us a little bit about what the experience was playing there?
It was different. I mean, just culturally, I had to adjust being away from home, being in a foreign country, abiding by their rules, their ways of life, eating their food. So it was adjustment. A lot of times I just kind of stayed at the house, went to practice, did what I had to do, just handle business. Because understand at the end of the day, like I'm still a pro, just got to handle my business. But it was cool being out there. It was very different though.
Yeah, what was the quality of play in the league like? It's a decent league, but is it a league that you is it what's the style of play in that league? Is it fast? Is it a little more half court? Like how do they play in Saudi Arabia?
I would say it's definitely like faster pace. They want to get out and play fast, but the refs are a little iffy, so it really just depends on what kind of ref you have one night. But they definitely do
The
want to
refs
play
are
fast
always a
out there.
little
They like
iffy.
fast, pace basketball. Yeah, the refs are a
I'm
little
not
iffy.
familiar with the.
Sometimes you might get blatantly fouled and they might not call it.
Oh yeah, that happens. I mean, I've seen that happen in the NBA a lot this season. I mean, the playoffs have been people getting mugged and not getting called. I mean, it's pretty interesting. And Luka complains the whole time. That's besides the point. So hang on. So the key thing is like also talking about that. Like, what are the import rules in Saudi Arabia? Like, how many? I see Spoon nodding instead of that one. So hang on. So Derek, are there import rules in Saudi? Like, is there a certain number of Americans you're allowed?
Yeah, you can have 3 imports and then 2 on the court at a time.
Got it. So basically, it's a domestic heavy league.
Yeah, very.
Okay. Now, Shay, talk about building this team up. I've always wondered about a GM. So you're building this team, and obviously you have connections to everybody from where you're from. But as you know, when people grow up and get on professionally, they scatter. That's just the nature of being an adult in the world. How challenging is it to recruit when all your players? Look at this. You got Azerbaijan, you got Luxembourg, you got Malaysia, you got Saudi Arabia, you got Monaco. Is all these different time zones challenging to get people on the phone and get them to commit? Like how many cell phone minutes internationally were you trying to buy on your card?
What's even crazier is, and shout out to these group of guys that I'm actually bringing with us to TBT for a second time. Communication has never been an issue with probably 95% of my team. From day one, I threw them all in the group chat, and we crack jokes in the group chat all day. We talk shit about each other. We talk shit about other teams. And half of them are playing I run a tournament in Atlanta. They're going to play against each other in my own tournament. So like there's talking smack back and forth on the live when I go Instagram live and stuff like that. But these guys, they pretty much all know each other, practice almost every day with each other, train every day with each other. So to get them together probably was the easiest thing to do. And I will give a special shout out to Saint because Saint actually helped. Saint was one of the guys that helped me recruit all the young guys that we had to find.
That's big. So Derek, you're a bit of a mentor to everybody, correct?
Man, I just bring everybody together. Call me the big homie.
Every group needs one. Every group needs the mayor, basically. Okay,
Spoon,
Spoon, let's get to the basketball a bit again. So look at this team now, and you and I will be a little upset about this real quick, Wes, but Spoon, our Memphis alum, don't exist anymore. They were through from the website today. I think they just shut the team down. So there will be no Beale Street team, it looks like. I'm looking at the page now. They had 4 players, none of which played at Memphis, so that's done. So now there's 7 in the bracket. So there's still 1 to get filled. But you're looking at La Familia.
Yeah, man, you
going
in and out. You got to say it again.
I got problems here. You know what? I'm from a remote island right now. I'm on the beach, so you know. Here, I'll just show you real quick. Actually, just because people are probably wondering why I'm doing this. Is we got what we got here is I'm in Syracuse with my folks. I'm in a child's room right now. Hence, you see the different backgrounds. I'm in a room that hasn't been redecorated since the previous owner was a 15-year-old girl. So that's why the internet's not quite as good as my castle in New York. Okay, so back to that. If I fix me. So Spoon, let's just get to the top of this. La Familia, loaded roster. Heard that, made the Final Four last year, returns a lot of players, adding some really talented players. Anytime you can get Ja'Cory and John Elmore in a pick and roll, that's a pretty bad thing to deal with. They added Dusty Hannah shooting out a lot of players. You got a lot of feisty
Drew,
teams
I gotta tell you, gang. I gotta tell you, they're gonna have to stand in front of this shit. Like we ain't ducking no wreck. We not ducking no threat. Where we
Okay.
decided we always got a chip on our shoulder. We took offense.
You're going in and out, but the take offense part was pretty good.
Hold on, so repeat that, bro.
Okay, all I know is Spoon said it was disrespectful.
Yeah, we gonna come and they gonna have in front of them, and that's all I got.
Okay, I went ahead and I'm just gonna mute Spoon real quick because he's having a bit of a problem here. Might be on my end.
Really,
yeah,
who
man,
knows? We're having problems right now.
They're gonna have to stand.
Okay, Derek, how's your sound working? Let's go ahead.
I got you. Basically,
Mine's
it's more
good.
like it's like, because I talk to the guys all the time about, especially from last year when they gave us that 8 seed, and I told them, I'm like, bro, just take everything as disrespect. Take everything as disrespect.
That's how to take
and
it.
They don't like y'all here. They want to see us go home early. You know what I'm saying? So if we beat the Gutter Cats, now what they're gonna say. You know what I mean? So it was just more of the fact that I just told them this the other day. I listed out every single team in our region. I said, you guys need to take anything less than a 5 seed in this region as disrespect. Y'all are that good. Y'all almost beat the 1 seed last year. There ain't no reason we should be an 8 seed. And that's on y'all.
Well, it's interesting looking at that because I'm trying to figure out where I'd seed you because the 1 and 2 will obviously be heard a lot familiar. That'll be the 1 and 2. And War Ready won a game last. But after that, it gets real flat because like you've got War Ready had their first win last year. D2, they're giving them the 2 wins from the D2.
War Ready won 2 years ago against Local Showtime. They got smoked last year by Louisville.
That's right. Thank you. See, that's how you remember these things.
Yeah,
so there you go.
Yeah, they got punched. We was at that game.
Okay, fair enough. So quite possibly you guys could end up in a 4-5 game with like a War Ready, basically, something like that. So how's it sound for something like War? Go ahead. Okay, fair enough. Calling the shot. So let's just kind of wrap this up, I guess. So Derek, let's end on this. What's the message you want people following TBT to get out of the NAWF? Like, what do you want people to know about this team as a closing thought?
That we're probably one of the best teams in the tournament. We're gonna show it.
Okay, that's easy. Quick and concise. Okay, Derek St. Hilaire, Shay Agboola, thank you for coming on. And thanks to Spoon. He had to bounce out due to reception problems, but we'll get him next time. So, gentlemen, I will see you in Lexington. Thanks for coming on.
Hannah, I appreciate it. Thank you, Hannah.
Appreciate having us.
Hope you enjoyed listening to Zoom the TBT with Charge and Hater. Subscribe to YouTube, follow on Twitter, and give us your money.